In the spring of 1842, members of the Church of Nauvoo, though poverty-stricken, obeyed the voice of the Lord and were busily occupied with the work of building the Nauvoo Temple, where the Lord could come and restore again that which was lost, even the fullness of the priesthood. The prophet encouraged everyone to help. Men did the actual building of the temple, while women sought ways to contribute. Two such women were Sarah Granger Kimball and her seamstress, Margaret A. Cook, who shared their thoughts.
Sister Kimball, I've been pondering and wondering how we might make clothing, bedding, and other general supplies available to the workmen and their families. They sacrifice so much building the temple each day. I could even contribute needlework if it could be made available. How shall I accomplish this? What shall I do?
I want to tell you, I've been thinking about that. Oh, Sister Margaret, I'll provide the material if you would sew. And do you suppose some of our neighbors would like to combine their means and efforts with ours? Should we invite them to help? And what do you think of
forming a ladies group to consult with us? I think that would further our benevolent efforts.
Yes, of course. I love the idea. Let's do it.
In the following days, Sarah Granger Kimball and Margaret A. Cook run from house to house, being moved upon by the spirit of the new felt inspiration. They invite as many of their neighbors and fellow sisters to meet at Sarah's home on Thursday at noon. Each invitation blossoms and spreads with enthusiasm amongst the community. Thus, with a feeling of chattering excitement, neighbors gather together and meet in the parlor of Sarah Granger Kimball's home. Spring fills the air with sweetness. Flowers are budding. The hope of beauty and love surrounds them.
What a beautiful spring day this is. Everywhere I look, there's a feeling of new life. The crocus, daffodil, tulips, and lilacs are sending forth their hopeful buds to greet us. Spring is everywhere present. God be praised for his great creation. We shall call this meeting to order. I am Sarah Granger Kimball, wife of Hiram Kimball. I'm filled with gratitude to welcome each one of you gathered together this afternoon. We recognize you left many beloved chores behind and are very anxious to return to them. We thoughtfully recognize those who, because of their circumstances, could not attend. Sister Margaret and I felt a deep desire to invite us all together for the purpose of organizing ourselves to assist the workmen who are building the temple, sew shirts for them, and be assistants to the saints entering Nauvoo. The idea and need for help and resources inspired the thought to invite our beloved neighbors. We want to gain an understanding of your feeling about the idea.
Thank you for your thoughtfulness. It is wonderful. I am certainly in favor of this inspired idea. We have the means and can help in many ways.
I, being the oldest sister here this beautiful spring day, am ready to offer my talents and skills in this most benevolent undertaking. Please include me and my daughter. I want to say one thing. Sometimes it's hard to sit in a rocking chair, especially when I just can't get it started.
Mother, you are so precious.
It is exciting to see you have a lot of spring left in you. We do appreciate your willingness to serve. It is fitting to organize ourselves properly, not in the manner of the world, yet with a written constitution and bylaws that describes what we shall abide by and by what name our organization shall be called. Do I hear a word from you?
Sister Kimball, I feel impressed to propose that you be delegated to call on our talented poetess sister, Eliza R. Snow, to write for us a constitution and bylaws and submit them to President Joseph Smith prior to our next Thursday's meeting.
I move that this proposal be accepted.
I second the motion.
Motion carried. A wonderful meeting indeed. I will certainly follow through with this assignment. It will be the best constitution ever. Thank you, sisters, for your interest and dedication to attend. This meeting is adjourned. adjourned until next Thursday, March 17th.
During this eventful week, sisters are about their numerous daily chores and busily expressing their excitement to be organized properly. The prophet is approached. Sisters share with him their desire to be organized as a benevolent organization. Sister Eliza R. Snow, who lived with Joseph and Emma Smith and taught in their family school, accepted the responsibility to draw up the Constitution and bylaws. After fulfilling her assignment with joy and serious contemplation, she presents the Constitution to the prophet of the Lord, Joseph Smith, which he carefully reads. He said, "This is the best I have ever seen, sisters. This is not what you want. Tell the sisters their offering is accepted of the Lord, and he has something better for them than a written constitution. I invite them all to meet with me and a few brethren next Thursday afternoon. I will organize the women under the priesthood, after the pattern of the priesthood, and teach you about the purposes of this new organization."
The distance seemed one step enough for me. I was not ever the snow prey that thou shouldst lead me on. I love to choose and see my path, but now thou me on. I love the garish day in spite of fears. Pride rule my will. Remember past years.
You know, I'm getting really forgetful. The other day I found myself at the top of the stairs and I couldn't remember whether I had just come up or whether I was going down.
You think that's bad? The other day I was sitting on the edge of the bed and I couldn't remember if I was getting up or had just woke up.
Well, my memory is just as good as ever. Knock on wood. Someone's at the door.
All three of you ladies are invited to our meeting Thursday the 17th. Will you be there?
If I can remember.
We'll be there.
Are there going to be refreshments?
Accordingly, on March 17, 1842, the prophet, accompanied by elders John Taylor and Willard Richards, meet with 20 women of all ages in the upstairs room of the Red Brick Store. The prophet officially organizes the Female Relief Society of Nauvoo and taught those present about the purpose of the new organization.
smiles upon us all. To see you feeling improved to be with us today, dear sister.
This is what I desire to be with all of you today.
It is an honor to stand in your presence this beautiful day. We welcome you, beloved sisters. The Lord loves you. Let us begin this meeting by singing "The Spirit of God Like a Fire is Burning," after which Elder John Taylor will bless us.
The Spirit of God like a fire is burning. The latter-day glory begins to come forth. The visions and blessings of all are returning, and angels are coming to visit the earth. We'll sing and we'll shout with the armies of heaven. Hosanna, Hosanna to God and the Lamb. Let glory to them in the highest be given, henceforth and forever. Amen and amen.
Let us pray.
Amen.
Beloved Brother Taylor, thank you for those inspired words. Sisters, it's pleasing to know you have a desire to be organized. What kind of organization do you have in mind? Yes, sister.
Sir, the idea all began with the desire to make shirts for the workmen building the temple and to be a benevolent society for those entering Nauvoo.
Yes, first and foremost, our concern should be an organization to serve others with the gospel in mind.
When I lived in Utica, New York, it is one of the centers of the women's benevolent movement. Those organizations have become a wonderful force for good throughout America, but there have also been serious abuses.
We've got to be different from the world.
I move that the popular institutions of the day should not be our guide. I think as daughters of Zion, we should set an example to all the world rather than confining ourselves to the course which others heretofore pursued.
I second the motion.
We have a motion and it has been seconded. All in favor?
I move that all those present be accepted as members of this new organization in full fellowship, and also those who desire to be here but could not.
I amend the motion.
All in favor, please manifest. Sisters, this is as it should be. We are going to organize you under the priesthood, after the pattern of the priesthood, and teach you about the purposes of this new organization. As you know, priesthood quorums are organized with a president and 2 counselors. I recommend that you organize yourselves likewise. I suggest you choose a president, and she will select 2 among your number to be her counselors to assist in her duties. Yes, Sister Whitney.
Brother Joseph, I nominate Emma Smith, my lifelong friend, for president of this organization.
Are there any other nominations?
I second the motion.
All in favor?
The voting is unanimous amongst all the sisters. The spirit is strong. In quiet contemplation, some are silently thinking and weeping. Others ponder the entire event, recognizing the hand of the Lord in this organization by a prophet of the Lord.
Thank you, sisters, for your sustaining votes. In this book, The Doctrine and Covenants is a revelation manifesting the will of the Lord to Emma Smith some 12 years ago. In light of what has just transpired today, please allow me to read. Hearken unto the voice of the Lord your God, while I speak unto you, Emma Smith, my daughter. Behold, thy sins are forgiven thee, and thou art an elect lady whom I have called. You must expound the scriptures to all, and teach the female part of the community, and that not she alone may attain to the same blessings. President Emma Smith, would you be pleased to say a word to the sisters who sustained you?
Sisters, we are going to do something extraordinary. We expect extraordinary occasions and praising calls. I have a strong desire to serve others and build up God's kingdom. I want to be a blessing to all who may in any wise have need of anything in my hands.
Emma, are you prepared to select 2 counselors?
I select Elizabeth Ann Whitney, a woman of great faith, as my first counselor, and Sarah M. Cleveland, devoted saint, to be my second counselor. Miss Elvira Cowles, treasurer, and Eliza R. Snell, secretary. Phoebe Wilder, assistant secretary.
Brother John Taylor, will you come forward and assist me in setting Sister Emma Smith and her counselors apart?
At a meeting conducted by Emma Smith, held a week after the Relief Society was organized, March 24, 1842, the prophet is in attendance, as with his mother, Lucy Mack Smith, 67 years old. Also with Joseph was Willard Richards, assigned to take notes, and newly called secretary, Eliza R. Snow. The sisters nominate and vote to name the organization the Female Relief Society of Nauvoo, an organization to care for poor and needy. The prophet further instructs the sisters. Lucy Mack Smith, the prophet's mother, gave the sisters counsel that extends to millions of women in the church today.
We must cherish one another, watch over one another, comfort one another, and gain instruction that we may all sit down together in heaven.
Thank you, Mother. I am deeply interested that this society might be built up to the Most High in an acceptable manner. Sisters, concentrate your faith and prayers and place confidence in those faithful men whom God has placed at the head of the church to lead his people, that we should arm and sustain them with our prayers. This society is to get instruction through the order of God.
I would like to say, President Joseph Smith illustrated the object of the society, that the sisters might provoke the brethren to good works, in looking to wants of the poor, searching after objects of charity, and in administration to their wants, to assist in correcting the morals and strengthening the virtues of the community. The object is the relief of the poor, the destitute, the widow, and the orphan, and for the exercise of all benevolent purposes.
Yes, the Ladies' Relief Society is not only to relieve the poor, but to save souls. Now, beloved sisters, we wish to keep the commandments of God in all things, as given directly from heaven to us, living by every word that proceedeth forth out of the mouth of the Lord. May God add his blessing upon your heads and lead you in all the paths of virtue, purity, and grace. The society has done well. Their principles are to practice holiness. God loves you, and your prayers in my behalf shall avail much. Let them not cease to ascend to God in my behalf. You must put down iniquity. By your good examples, stimulate the elders to do good works. I will instruct you and point out the way for you to conduct yourselves, that you might act according to the will of God. If you live up to these principles, how great and glorious will your reward in the celestial kingdom. If you live up to your privileges, the angels cannot be restrained from being your associates. Females, if they are pure and innocent, can come in the presence of God for what is more pleasing to God than innocence. You must be innocent, or you cannot come up before God. If we can come before God, we must be pure as he is pure. If you would have God have mercy upon you, have mercy on one another. We can only live by worshiping our God. All must do it for themselves. None can do it for another. I have two things to recommend to this society. To put a double watch over the tongue. No organized body can exist without this at all. Do not injure the character of anyone. Keep your doings within your bosoms and hold all character sacred. And now, sisters, I have organized you, the women, under the priesthood, after the pattern of the priesthood. I say unto you, the church was never perfectly organized until the women were thus organized.
The Prophet's History for March 24, 1842 records, the organization of the Female Relief Society was completed this day. Mrs. Emma Smith takes the presidential chair. Mrs. Elizabeth Ann Whitney and Sarah A. Cleveland are her counselors. Miss Elvira Cowles is treasurer, and our well-known and talented poetess, Miss Eliza R. Snow, secretary. In celebration of Relief Society's 172nd year, we are honored to be heirs of this great organization, to act upon these grand key words of Christ. Wherefore follow me, and do the things which ye have seen me do. We are disciples of Christ. Our motto is, charity never faileth. Our purposes to increase faith and personal righteousness, strengthen families and homes, seek out and help those in need.